More than 3,000 family members of 9/11 victims are urging Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump to oppose any potential deal with Saudi Arabia until that country is held accountable for its possible role in the attacks. They cite evidence, including video footage from 1999, as proof of Saudi involvement and are demanding full transparency from the U.S. government. The families represented by the group 9/11 Justice are pushing for the declassification of documents and greater scrutiny of Saudi Arabia before any agreements are potentially made. Sean Passananti's father worked for Marsh and McLennan on the 100th floor of the North Tower when that first plane crashed into it at 8:46 a.m. on 2001, September 11th, and joins me now. I appreciate your coming in on this day. I mean, the entire city opens its hearts up to the surviving victims on a day like this. Why don't we start with how you're doing today?
Yeah, it's a rough anniversary for me because my father was 55 when he died, and I'm 55 now, so it's a rough one. They're all rough. It's like it happened yesterday every year, but this one I could relate to, my father being the same age as I am today.
Yeah, and you are continuing to fight for justice for your father and for the others who died that day and continue to suffer from the after effects of working at the site. And I want to talk a little bit about that, specifically this recent video footage of the Saudi agent who was casing the U.S. Capitol. How does that impact your efforts to hold the Saudi government accountable for its alleged role?
So we've been fighting for 20 years for accountability and justice, and we recently obtained from Scotland Yard these videos of the Saudi intelligence officer, Omar al-Bayoumi, and one of the videos, he's casing the Capitol during the planning of 9/11. So we now know for sure that Flight 93 was going to the U.S. Capitol, and the heroes that took that plane, that plane down, they saved the U.S. Capitol on that day. And so we believe they and all the families and all the people still suffering today deserve truth, accountability, and justice.
So what is you and the other families feeling about the U.S. government and whether it has been transparent enough so far as it pertains to the potential involvement of Saudi Arabia?
Well, so far, no. The answer is no with that, but we'll keep fighting. We have this evidence we have is monumental. It's historic. It's very devastating for the Saudis. I was in the courtroom this summer and heard it firsthand. And now is the time to reconcile with Saudi Arabia, to hold them accountable for what they did. We have multiple government officials that were handling the hijackers up till 9/11. So 9/11 would not have happened without Saudi government officials' support.
And as you've been speaking, we've been looking at still images of that video that you're referencing. I want to talk about the presidential campaign that's currently underway and whether you feel it is important that either of the candidates, Trump or Harris, publicly pledge opposition to any deal, any peace deal with Saudi Arabia in light of this evidence. And what would you like to see from them?
Well, we'd like to see both of them have our support, that they would put the 9/11 families before Saudi Arabia. So. And
are you seeing that from either campaign?
Not yet. I spoke with J.D. Vance and Trump today, so we'll see. But we think that it's our government should support the 9/11 families before Saudi Arabia. Absolutely.
Is there a role that you want to see Congress play in this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody should really be supporting our efforts, and we need the truth to come out. We've been fighting for it. It's been 23 years. It's a long time, and we think that it's time for it to happen, especially in light of these two devastating videos and other evidence as well.
You bring up, I mean, 23 years, it gets further and further into the past, and we see that in the younger generations of family members speaking. What message, I mean, now the obligation falls on them to pick up this fight and carry on.
I'm very impressed with just listening to the people read the names and what they say about their loved ones. I am very positive in the future generations moving forward with this, never giving up and fighting. I think everyone, again, deserves truth, justice, and accountability. This was a terrible thing that happened, and we need to make sure it never happens again. And the way we do that is we hold the people who did it accountable. We don't just brush it aside.
Sean Passananti, thank you so much for coming in. We really wish you all the best, and thank you.
Thank you.